Going back to the phone lines, next up is Vicki.
What are Christians going to be judged at the throne of Christ? I mean, what are they going to be judged on at the throne of Christ?
Yeah, there's a separation between sheep and goats. The metaphor meaning a goat is one who rejects the shepherd. Sheep are those who embrace the shepherd. And at the judgment seat of Christ, there is going to be a judgment for both, because there are degrees of reward in heaven, just as there are degrees of punishment in hell. And that's why Jesus is telling us in Scripture not to labor for that which perishes, but rather to labor for that which is eternal.
Okay. So, for example, when a Christian is saved and they give tracts to people, that's going to be deemed very valuable to Christ, right?
Well, it's not only valuable, but it's what we're called to do, not necessarily handing out tracts, but being equipped Christians, always ready to give an answer or reason for the hope that lies within us with gentleness and with respect. I'm looking, as we're talking right now, at Matthew 25. This is where Jesus tells the story of a man who entrusts his property to his servants before going on a long journey. And each servant receives an amount commensurate with his abilities. So one gets 5 talents, another gets 2 talents, another just gets 1 talent. And in the story, Jesus says the servant who received 5 talents doubled his money, as did the servant who received 2 talents. But the last servant showed negligence, and he buried his master's money in the ground. And so when the master returns, he rewards the faithful servant with the words, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You've been faithful with a few things. I'm going to put you in charge of many things. Come and share in your master's happiness." The unfaithful servant not only forfeited his reward, but he was thrown into outer darkness where there'll be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Now, Jesus uses this parable for a couple of purposes: to point out that there are going to be rewards in eternity for our faithfulness, but he also uses it to underscore the fact that the judgment of our works will reveal whether our faith was indeed genuine. Because if our faith is real, our faith is going to manifest itself in our works. Conversely, if we do not manifest good works, we demonstrate that our faith is not real. And this is what James says. He says, "What good is it, my brothers, if a man claims to have faith but he doesn't have deeds? Can that kind of faith save him?" And the answer is no. That kind of faith cannot save him, because we are saved by the kind of faith that produces good works, not mere intellectual assent. Christianity is not merely a head fake where we give assent to logical truth propositions. It is the engrafting of a life, and that life is the life of Christ. So what I like to say is Christ not only saved us by his death, but he saves us into his life. And if you're living the engrafted life, what Peter talks about, what he says, we're partakers of the divine nature, then we will bear good fruit. And those will end up affecting what we do for all eternity.